Hi guys, it's Christina, Quick the Tarot Biz Mentor here from the Profitable Psychic Business Academy. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be continuing on in our Etsy series. I'm really excited to be increasing and adding on to this series. I know that you guys have been wanting this information for quite some time now. So today we're going to be talking about how to avoid trouble as a seller on Etsy, whether you're selling tarot readings or psychic readings or spiritual services in general. And what I mean by avoiding trouble is reducing the likelihood that you're going to have bad reviews, reducing likelihood that people are going to ask for refunds, and just general like avoiding miscommunication. Okay, some really good customer service skills is what I'm going to teach you today, and also some things that you need to know about how to protect yourself as an Etsy seller when you're selling tarot readings or psychic readings on Etsy. So I have 5 things I'm going to be talking about. The first thing is to always keep communications on Etsy. I know it's really really tempting to talk to people through email and stuff like that or social media. But if you do not have a trail of communication that takes place on Etsy and you have an issue with the client, Etsy's not really going to back you up for that. If you keep all of your communications, like any follow-up questions that they ask, any questions you have about their questions, or answering questions about their readings and things like that, make sure that all of those conversations are done in Etsy. Try to limit your external communication unless it's a client that you've been working with several times, you have a good relationship with them, you have a trust built up with them. But even then, good clients can turn into bad clients too. So it's one of those situations where I know it's tempting to talk to your clients through email or social media, but when it comes to your orders and when it comes to transactions, try to get them in the habit of contacting you on Etsy, or at the very least, copy your answers over to Etsy. But again, I would really highly recommend not talking about sales, not talking about transactions outside of Etsy. That's different than, say, if they message you on social media and said, hey, I want to book you for this reading, what's your website? That's a different situation. I mean, communications in regards to the sales that you make on Etsy, keep those in Etsy Convo. Oh, also, if you're being threatened or harassed and you are being threatened or harassed on Etsy, then they can take action against that. You should always report harassment, even if it happens in your own email. You still report harassment to Etsy and let them know that this is the user that's doing this. But again, I would probably, if I were to go back and do this all over again, not answer any questions on social media, and I would only talk to people through Etsy. Any important information, like pertinent information to the regards to the sale. Number 2, if you are doing email readings, and actually this goes for all types of readings, because no matter what type of reading that you offer on Etsy, you have to give something in exchange, whether that's a physical item that's mailed out to them, or whether that's a digital product like a write-up of their reading or a recording of their reading and things like that, a video or an audio file or something along those lines. Make sure that you're always delivering that to their Etsy communication. So make sure that when you deliver that, you're not just sending it to their email address. That's a no-no, because they could say that they never received it, right? So you want to make sure that when you sell readings on Etsy, you deliver the readings and there's a trail of proof that shows that you did the reading and that you delivered it, and you delivered it over Etsy Conversations. On Etsy Conversations, you can upload PDFs to the files, you can upload pictures, and if you're hosting your videos somewhere else, like on Vimeo or YouTube Unlisted or something like that, or your own private WordPress website or something along those lines, your own cloud, then you want to make sure that you are sending those links to access that also through Etsy Conversations. You need a trail always to ensure that you're going to avoid trouble. Like if someone says that they didn't get it, or I mean, even in the best of intentions, like what if you really did the reading and you just delivered it to their email and it went to their spam folder and they think they never really got it? Not all clients are malicious, or trying to get something out of you or trying to get you over somehow. But sometimes just things do happen like that where they don't see that they've got it. And then they leave a bad review that they never heard from you, and it's hard to come back from that. So cover your bases and make sure that you're always sending the actual reading, or the files through their Etsy messaging system. Number 3, if you get a review that's 3 stars or less, don't reply right away. If you reply, it's permanent, okay? That stays on your account. If you see that you had a review come in that was 3 stars or less, my recommendation is to message that person and be as sweet as pie and ask them how you can rectify the situation. Ask them, hey, what can I do to get you to have a better experience? Could I offer you a free Oracle card reading or something along those lines? Or could I offer you a 20% coupon? It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to change their review, but you can entice them to change their review or to rethink something. So just reach out to those people. And if it was a really bad review, as in like they're like really harassing or something, you can report that to Etsy and they can review it. For example, like if they said something along the lines of, I didn't like her personality or something like that, you might be able to get that removed. But if it says like predictions didn't come true or didn't resonate, you can't really get that kind of review erased, because that's just like a review of the actual product. But if it's not a review of the actual product itself, then you can likely get that removed. But make sure that I know it's so tempting to be defensive and to want to yell back and defend yourself, but it's a good practice. Just see if you can mend the situation before you go into battle and then try to explain yourself, because once you put that review on there, it's done. It's over. You don't have any opportunity to rectify that situation. Number 4, after a sale, this is always a really good practice. After you make a sale on Etsy and it's a considerable amount of money and it's not something that's like 24-hour turnaround or quick delivery, or like where it's not like it's very obvious how quickly they're going to receive their reading, and then like the time is not an urgency motivator to sell. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But if it's just like, $25 reading or up or something like that, it's just a good practice to just have something written on your phone, like 1 or 2 sentences on your notes, have that on copy and paste, message people on the Sell on Etsy app and just say, hey, and then use your first name, hey, Sarah, or hey, Linda, or hey, Becky, I received your order. I just wanted to let you know that I received your reading order, or I'm confirming your booking or something like that. And I just wanted to let you know that my current processing and delivery time is such and such date. Okay. I've just found that if you, especially with people that are new to you, because a lot can happen in what is unsaid, right? Especially people who buy psychic readings, especially if they're new to it or they're new to you, or it's a higher price reading or something along those lines. There's a lot of weird feelings and janky feelings that can kind of go on back behind the scenes, like in their mind space. So I've always found it helpful and just a really great customer service trick and tip to just communicate with people and let them know you got the order, and just to reiterate how long it's going to take and what the expected delivery time is. I've really found that can give people a really great peace of mind, relax them, make them more open to the process, and have a better relationship overall with people. Number 5 is to clear up miscommunication before you do the reading. I know it's kind of annoying to have to reach out to people, and time is money. I get that. But if you get a reading and you're not really sure what that person wants, or they ask a question, because maybe English isn't their first language or something like that. And maybe they said something, or their first language is not your native language, right? It's really easy to miscommunicate and to misunderstand things, especially in the online sphere through text. So if you have any doubts about a question that someone had, or you have doubts about what they are really looking for, take the extra few days and just reach out to that person. And what I'll sometimes say is something like, hi, so-and-so, I got your reading confirmation. This is the processing time. This is the time that you will expect to have your reading. If I hear back from you within, the next day or so, I have some follow-up questions about your questions or about what you're looking for from this reading. And I would really appreciate it if you would respond to me fairly quickly so I can, get this reading done for you. If I don't hear back from you within 24 hours, I'll just go ahead and proceed with the reading and you'll get it at that point. So it's kind of like a gamble, Sometimes I've done readings where I wasn't completely clear on like what they wanted. It turned out fine. Sometimes I really kicked myself and I said, look, I should have reached out to this person. I would have saved myself the trouble because, I've had situations where I've misunderstood something, done a reading, and they've replied back very sweetly and say, I wasn't wanting to know that. I was wanting to know this, right? So if you have any doubts or you're unsure about what someone wants or expects from their reading, please feel free to reach out to them and clear up that miscommunication. So there you have it, 5 tricks to help you avoid trouble as an Etsy seller selling tarot readings or psychic readings. I will see you in the next video. Bye.